Hello guys, let's do this paper together. It's November 2024, grade 11 math paper 1. Okay, let's start. Okay, go through the instructions always and begin. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Okay, question 1 is 26 marks, fairly easy. Question 2 mostly says, when I work through them. Question 3, the number patterns again, and functions begin from question 5. So this is last year's paper. Let's go through it quickly and then try to see what we can do there. Okay, let's start with this part. So solve for x, straightforward. Solve for x, it's just gonna be x minus 4, x plus 2 equals to 0. X becomes 4 or x becomes minus 2. So that is just straightforward there. You need to know how to solve for x by this time in grade 11. And if you're not sure, just use the quadratic equation to help you. Okay, number 2, correct to answer to 2 decimal place. Here, definitely we're going to use quadratic equation. Firstly, put your equation in standard form like that, and then solve. What will be A? A is 2, B is -3, C is -7. And then just use your equation there. Minus B plus or minus B squared minus 4AC over 2A. And then you substitute. A negative and a negative will give you a positive. And then you have a -3 squared minus 4, 2, and minus 7 over 2, 2, which is 4. Then put that in a calculator and then try to solve it. Let's see how much you get for the first one. Getting x is -1,27, or x is plus 2,77. Yes. Yeah, that's what I'm getting there. Okay, moving along, let's go to 1.1.3. 1.1.3, look at what we're given. We're given this 2. It's an inequality question. So this one, look at it, it's x plus 1. But this one, 4 minus x greater than 0. It's not in a form that we are used to it. It has to be like the other one, 1 minus x minus 4. So how do we get it to be like this? We're gonna take out a negative. We're gonna take out a negative from this bracket. So it's gonna be something like this. So that I can, this is 4. This stays the same. If I take out a negative, it's gonna be like this. But I have a negative there outside. So that when I multiply a negative and a negative and a positive will give me a negative, and negative and a negative will give me a positive. So I took out a negative sign. Hope you get it. I took out a negative sign, but I can't leave the question like this. So what am I going to do? Divide by -1. Now this is going to affect, my sign, the inequality sign. The inequality sign is going to change. It's going to look this way now. So I hope you get it. That was where the trick was. And then once we're here, you find your CVs. Your CVs will be -1 and 4, which is something like this, -1 and 4. And if you're using the number line, you know your values are going to be here, plus, negative, plus. We're looking for where the x values will be in between, will be a negative. Because look at the inequality sign here. I'm going to circulate. The inequality sign says less than 0. any number less than 0 is a negative. Any number less than 0 is a negative. So meaning we are looking for here, this part here, because we are looking for where x is negative. So x is negative where? Between -1 and 4. X is negative between -1 and 4. So I'm going to say x is negative between that one and that one. That becomes your answer. I hope you get it. I hope you get it, guys. Okay, moving along. Okay, so let's create more space there, create more space, create more space, create more space, create more space, create more space. Okay, what's that? Okay, let's look at the following question. The next question says, given that 14 over p equals to p plus 5. The next question says solve for p. So how would you solve for p now? So firstly, I would multiply everything by p, multiply all the terms by p, so that we get rid of the fraction there. So multiply by the LCD. Remember, when we multiply by the LCD, we don't keep the LCD if it's an equation. So p over p will cancel out, and I'm left with 14. P multiplied by p becomes p squared plus 5p. And then standard form, take everything to one side, equate to 0. Take this one this side. Since it's a positive, it's going to be a negative, then equate to 0. Then factorize. Factors of p of 14. If I minus, I get that will be that. No. The other way. The middle one, the bigger number takes the sign of the middle term. So 7 has to be positive, this one negative, meaning p is -7, p is 2. Okay, so I think 3 marks, you get a mark for the answer of p. Then you get them 1 mark just for steps that are correct. Okay, next question. Hence or otherwise solve for x if p is if 14 over blah 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 blah. You can see this whole expression. Now look at this expression given. These two equations are the same, just that here in the place of p, they put what? In the place of p, they put the square root of x plus 5. So same thing, just that now they've changed from p to square root of x plus 5, meaning p is the same as the square root of x plus 5. And I have two values of p, which is a -7 x plus p and a 2 x plus 5. So this one won't be applicable. We can go through it and check it and put it inside, but we can't have, remember, square root of a negative number, it's not real. So we're just going to be working with this one. So this one, how do we solve for x? We're looking for x, remember. We're going to square both sides, square both sides, square both sides. How much you get? 4 here, x plus 5. And then take the 5 to that side, x becomes 4 minus 1 equals 2. Sorry, 4 minus 5, which is -1 minus 1. Okay, I hope you get it. I hope you get it. I hope you get it. Okay. Okay, so that will be the value of x. Moving along, I hope you get it. Hope you get it. Okay, moving along. Moving along. Okay, simultaneous equation for 6 marks. Let's try it down here and see if we can figure it out. Okay, so what is the catch? Always make one question, one equation subject of the formula. Oh, looks like a long one, but let's try it. So I'm going to make x the subject of the formula. That's the first thing. So meaning I'm going to move the x this side positive, then move this one there positive. So I'm going to have x 3y plus 1, which will be my equation 3. Substitute equation 3 into equation 2. So I hope I'm not too fast for anyone. I'm used equation 1 to formulate an equation whereby I have x as the subject of the formula. So you're just simply moving around terms to avoid dealing with negative signs. So I'm going to take equation 2 now. Then 3y plus 1 squared minus 2y, 3y plus 1 minus y squared minus 7 equals to 0. Okay, we solve it now. Expand this bracket. Becomes 9y squared minus plus 6y plus 1. This becomes 6y squared minus 2y minus y squared minus 7 equals to 0. Copy this down as it is. I hope everything is right so far. Okay, 9y squared minus 1y squared becomes 8y squared. 6y minus 2y becomes 4y. Okay, I forgot this one. Oh, this one makes it a, what is 8 minus, so I can just do it, 8 minus 6, I can just work it out there. 8 minus 6 becomes 2. So I have 2. So 9 minus 6 is 3, 3 minus 1 is 2, okay? Then I have plus 1 minus 7, which is minus 6. Okay, then they're all factors of 2, so I can divide across by 2, so that I'm left with 2 plus y squared. Divide this by 2, divide this by 2, divide this by 2, divide this by 2. Whatever you do on the left hand side, you do on the right hand side also. Okay, so that 3 equals to 0. Factors of 3 that gives me 2 will be plus 3 and minus 1, which is minus 3, or y is minus 1, plus 1, positive 1. Okay, now I have the values of y. I need to find x. So I'm going to go substitute the two values in equation 3. So I'm going to have something like this. X 3 minus 3 plus 1, which is minus 9 plus 1, which is minus 8. Or y is 3 into 1 plus 1, which is 4. So we can take one and check if our answer is correct. Always do it. So this is the value of x. This is x. This is x. 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 So let me take 4 and 1. 4 and 1. So I'm going to put 4 in brackets. 4 squared minus 2, 4, 1 minus 1 squared minus 7. Get a 0. So try to check your answer after doing it and check if everything is right. So we're doing the last question now. It says if, look at that question. Let me erase here. Okay. So this question, if 2 x to the power minus 1 plus x to the power minus 2 equals to 3, x is less than 0, meaning it's a negative. Without the use of a calculator, determine the value of that expression. So, okay, so how would you do this question? Firstly, I would have a positive exponent. So remember that there's golden property that says this. Actually, what am I doing? What am I doing? If I have a negative, let's say n, I can write it like this. If I have a negative exponent, I can write it in that form as a fraction. So in this case, I'm going to try to do that one. So meaning the x becomes a negative denominator. Here, I'm going to have that equals to 3. And then I'm going to multiply by the LCD, which is x squared, meaning multiply everything by the LCD, x squared times x squared times x squared. Okay, let's see this and that. I'm left with x. X times 2 becomes 2x plus that, and that goes away, and that becomes 3x squared. So I have 3x squared. This 2 goes to the other side. They become both negative, negative. So what are the factors of 3 and 1 that can give me a 2? 2. See them? So 3x, 1, x, and 1. Factors of that will be a negative, that will be a okay, which is 0. And then x will be a negative 1/3 in this case, or x will be 1. So here it is just straightforward. I'm not losing anyone, I'm not too quick, I'm not too fast. What am I doing from here? I want to have a linear equation without fraction. So you multiply by the LCD. Once I multiply by the LCD, I have this 2x plus 1 equals to 3x squared. I need to write it in standard form. What is the standard form? I start with the coefficient of x squared, bx plus c equals to 0. So if I say standard form, that's what I mean. You take all the terms to one side and put it to 0, then factorize. Factorize whichever way you can factorize, then you get your values. Okay, now let's continue. Now the second part of this says x is -3. So the negative, not negative, less than 0, meaning this part won't apply. Only one that will apply is this one, for where x is negative. So how would we find this expression? So 2x minus 1, and that I can write it also in that form, where this becomes the denominator, right? And the denominator, and then what do we do from there? I would substitute x. Let me use a different. Here, where I see x, I would put that 2/6 -1/3 minus 1. And then 2/, then this whole expression, put it on the calculator. Put that whole expression. Six minus 1, that I get -3. So that will be the answer. That will be the answer. Okay, I hope you got it also. Moving along. Question 2 says, let's do it. So here, without the use of a calculator, meaning you need to know your sets. But I use a calculator. Okay, let me start here. So use a calculator. I mean, they wouldn't know that you're using a calculator as long as you're using it accordingly. So what is the square root of 32? Square root of 32 will be 4/2. Okay, and then what is the square root of 18? Square root of 18 will be 3 root 2 plus 3 root 3 over, what is the square root of 108? 8 will be 6 root 3 plus square root of that one will be 8 will be 2 root 2. 2, 2. Now, what would I do here? Here, I would, these are like terms. What is 4 minus 3? These are like terms because they have the same sets. Square root 2, square root 2. So 4 minus that will give me 1. 1 root 2. Or root 2 plus root 3 over 3, whichever way. Over here, I will take out a common factor. What will be my common factor? Common factor between 6 and 2 will be 2. So I'll be left with 3 root 3 plus root 2. So that one goes away. So here I can might as well also look at here. Now look at these two brackets. They're the same. The order doesn't matter because they are both positive. So this and this is going to cancel. I'm left with 1 over 2. So that will be your answer. So you just take it step by step and then look for like terms that you can add or subtract there. Okay, cool. Wonderful. Moving along to the next question. Okay, guys, let's go on. Question 2.2. Okay, let's do this part. So this is solve for x. Firstly, I would divide by 2, so that x is by itself there, negative 5 over 2 equals, what is 64 over 2? 32. And then here, what would you do? You would multiply by the additive inverse, the reciprocal of that. So the reciprocal of that will be what? You can change the 32 to 2 root 5. Multiply by 2 over 5. Multiply by 2 over 5. This is the reciprocal. That and that cancel. That and that cancel. And then I'm left with x 2 squared, which is what? 4. So I'm left with something like this. I can write this as that. 4 over 1. Multiply both sides. That. My answer will be a quarter. Okay. Hope you get it. Hope you get it. Hope you get it. Let's try another question. There's 2 questions, and then we should take a pause and then continue pattern. Okay. So look at this question. Say, we're given this expression. So always when we have a plus or a minus in between the exponents, we might have to factorize. So I'm going to expand and then factorize. So 3, 5x minus expand this to this. And then take out a common factor. If I take out 5 to the power x on both sides, I'm left with 3 minus that. Can you see? The calculator does it for you. You can just press that on the calculator. It will give you the answer. And then you multiply by this on both sides. So I get 14 over 5. 14. Divide both sides by 14 over 5. Divide this by 14 over 5, which is going to multiply as 5 over 14. they cancel, and then 5x is 5. 1, therefore x is 1. Okay, that's a nice, beautiful question. Nice, beautiful question. Okay,